Welcome to another episode of The Real Podcast with Eric Latchall and my man next door, Nico DiGiorno. We have another incredible guest. 3 weeks in a row, I think.
Yeah.
Guess that's pretty cool and fun.
I think I like
that was my
having
phone.
guests. I think I like having guests better than just us.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I don't enjoy talking to you, but
No, I agree. I talked to you way too much. But we have a special guest today. This is our first woman business owner that we've had on the show, so that is super awesome.
Yep.
We have Allyson Brittany with Allyson Brittany Aesthetics.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you for joining us. I think a lot of people would just ask right off the bat, who are you? What exactly do you do? And give us a little bit about your story.
Yeah, well, like you said, my name's Allyson, and I actually am Allyson Brittany. I get that question a lot, like, who's Brittany?
Sure.
In the name, they're both me. It's me, just me. But I have a skin revision clinic in York, Pennsylvania, and almost 10 years in business next year. What we do is definitely something that's, more unique of an approach to skin revision. It's not just like a fluffy facial or lots of lasers and, ablative services. We actually really work one-on-one with our client and take them through a journey with their skin to deliver results that maybe they went to the dermatologist and, didn't see or didn't get. We create a more personable experience for them. So I love what I do. I got started in this industry, actually initially wanting to do special effects makeup. Okay. I wanted to go out to California and do
That'd
makeup.
Yeah,
I know,
cool.
like The Walking Dead.
Yeah,
or
you
something.
could have been on
That'd been
Face Off or
nuts.
whatever that was called.
Yeah, something like that. But that was that's what got me into the industry. And at the time, licensing, you had to become an esthetician to do makeup. That's not a thing anymore.
Okay.
But so I went to school and I just was good at it. I was passionate about it. It was
Something you
just
love.
fit for me. And I ran with it. And then I worked, for a couple other people and got my feet wet in the industry and just wanted to provide a different level of service and, quality. And I always say nobody is you and that is your power. And I feel like
true.
that is something
Yes.
I had to offer to, my clientele. So I kind of just did it. And, here we are 10 years later.
So just for me, 10 years into the business, I know with what we do, we just celebrated our 5-year anniversary. But
Congratulations.
well, thank you. But I also know that there's struggles and headaches and everything that comes with that. What's the in your world of business, is it very competitive? Is there a lot of when you started at probably a pretty young age, 23 years old. So that's scary. Is it more competitive now? Has the business grown? Have business grown around you? What's it look like?
Oh, yeah. It's so saturated now.
Okay.
It's insane. It's so different from when I started. I definitely...
Sounds like us too, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
100%.
Yeah, for sure. I think, everything is, right? Everybody wants to be in this industry too. I think they think, I don't want to say that, but it's fun, right? We get to love what we do. It's still a job. It's still how we put food on the table, but we don't dread going to work every day. Yeah.
You get all the tea, plus you get to
Well, we're
make people
also
look pretty.
therapists,
I
so you close
100%
that door.
believe that.
You would have oh my gosh.
oh, I can imagine.
The things that
My
have been
poor barber
said-
sometimes too, and that's out in the open. I'm like, we're just having these discussions.
Yeah.
Or other people in the I can't imagine once the door's closed and
We carry heavy things sometimes. It's not always positive too,
Sure.
Sometimes they close that door and the tears just roll. But we are that person for them. So to be that for somebody too is pretty awesome.
Yeah. And that comes with time and trust.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So and that says a lot about you and your business and the people that you have that are working at your business because, clientele doesn't do that the first time they meet you.
No.
You know what I mean? No. Sometimes in our situation, there's some different things and some life struggles that are going on with properties or things that are just a little bit overwhelming that happens. But I couldn't imagine going to a barber for the first time in my world, or and actually I do feel that we're going to get into, but like as I've learned more about your business and like
Yeah.
different, I feel like there's a lot of men that actually do go to it. So
Of course.
yes. So, and I did, yeah.
Don't you guys want to look good too? And it's important in your business, right?
100%.
I guess, yeah.
I
mean, I don't know if we'll be able to. He's on his own here,
Stuck over here.
It's just a lost
Just
cause.
SOL.
That's fine. We'll
I
send him
don't know.
over. But if you can do something with
I'm
it, then
just saying, we might be the difference for you.
Change the game
Yeah,
completely.
you never
no,
know.
yeah. I
can
mean,
do it.
I'll be honest. I don't much anymore because my barber does it. But like I don't know if this is what you do, but like used to get my eyebrows waxed and stuff, and.
Yeah, no, my
Yeah,
barber
we
does
do
my
eyebrows.
too.
But
Well,
I used to
always
like
say you
actually.
you also get probably straight racered, right?
Yeah.
I'm like,
Now
that's
I
like
do.
dermaplaning. That's like the equivalence, like
Oh,
for a
really?
man, really. I mean, yeah, they're taking the hair, but you're also getting some dead skin cells.
Oh,
so.
every time he's got that little white line.
I know. I'm like, yo, that's fresh,
I'm like, oh,
crisp.
I was like, how's that, what's all that white stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I always think about it. I'm like, well, technically, you guys are kind of getting that too. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, we do. And to go over that, like, yeah, we do eyebrows, we do some body, waxing. But really, we just focus on skin, but more like skin conditions. People who are struggling with, aging, pigmentation, acne, rosacea, eczema, any sort of condition that's present on the skin, we can really kind of dive into what's the root cause, what's going on.
Are you like looking at us and picking our skin apart right now?
I mean, I think I do it naturally. It's like I have the X-ray vision.
It's the same way I look at houses. I was like, I bet she's just like,
exactly.
they could use.
Yeah. I walk into somebody's house that I know, and I'm like, those don't line up, and that's
You
wrong.
don't even know you're doing
I
it,
know.
though.
Yeah.
You just
I
do
know.
You just do it
it
automatically.
Yeah.
That's why, yeah.
And you can always make good skin great. So,
That's
there's always room for improvement.
fair.
Yeah. Right?
I've never had. I mean, I've never had issues with acne. I've never had any of that.
We should
I
have
don't know about
vlogged. We
you.
could have brought you guys to the spa.
Yeah,
That
that would have been awesome.
We can do a little,
right,
little
we have
walk
to round
through
two.
added to it.
Field
Yeah.
trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah,
I love field trips. It's been a long time since I got to go on a field trip.
Yep.
My son got to go to Hershey Park this past week. I was like, I never got to do cool shit like that.
No.
I think they
not
took me
Hershey
to like a.
Park.
That's a
petting-
great field trip,
I
right?
hope
Yeah,
you send him with
petting farm.
sunscreen.
Well, I mean, yeah,
She would say that.
she would.
Yeah, it was SPF 100.
Because
It was perfect.
No, it was
Just lie to me at
Do you know
least.
you're supposed to put? I learned this from the girl I've been dating, and you're supposed to wear sunscreen like all the time. You're supposed to put it on like every, like.
You guys didn't know this?
No.
I've worn sunscreen probably
All right,
like
we should have a
14 times
sunscreen
in my
lesson
life.
quickly.
Yeah, you should see
because-
my.
Give us this.
You
That's
should see my
important.
shoulders right now.
It's summer.
No,
so
I don't know that I want to.
Yeah, super.
Skin
Not
just
yet. We're
peeling?
not
Okay,
there
so
yet.
here's the thing with sunscreen. The number on the bottle really doesn't mean much. I mean, you want at least an SPF 30. Anything
Okay.
above that is great, but at least SPF 30.
Why? What's 30 do?
So there's a percentage of protection. It's just like that like happy medium range, like your SPF 30.
Sure.
And SPF 50 is like 1% more protection from UV rays
Gotcha.
than the 30. So it's not about that. It's about reapplying. So it's about the period of time that you're protected for. So on the bottle, when it says like 80 minutes, that's what's important. So if you're only protected for 80 minutes, after 80 minutes, that SPF 30 doesn't even matter. So it's about reapplying. I tell clients every hour, which hopefully means they reapply every 2.
And then
when you're exposed.
And then there's
exposed.
me who just walks on the beach and I'm there all day and I've done
Just
not
nothing.
a damn thing.
Right.
But I get super tan.
I mean, you got a
But
little
you know,
Italian in
a
you.
suntan is your skin's cry for help.
I also found this
Like
out.
that's your body's
know that.
form of protecting itself from the sun.
Well, I'll take it all day because it makes me
So-
look good.
Definitely look better with a tan.
I did my job. I'm educating you.
No,
You do what you
That's
want with it.
That's crazy though.
No.
I've never known that.
Honestly, that is a crazy thing, and I feel like it is a very overlooked thing. Do you see that? With that, I think since we just learned about suntan, I think it's important. Do you see a lot of changes? Like obviously, all of us are under 40 years old, but like years of sun damage to skin. Like, is it like a serious thing that you're trying to restore later on?
I would say that's like 75% of my business is like aging and pigmentation.
Wow.
That's what we do. We do it well, but it's something that has to be managed for life. Like melanin has a memory. When you're exposed to the sun, it's going to come back. I hate summer as an esthetician because it's like we just need to maintain the health of your skin and be preventative. And then come fall, we can get into like revising some of that damage that's been done. And hopefully there's not as much because we are, being preventative and managing it. But I mean, once you're exposed to the sun, no matter if you reapply every hour and you wear sunscreen, nothing is 100% protection.
Sure.
So you're gonna get sun, and I mean, you see it over time. But with our clients that are committed and consistent and loyal, it's amazing how it doesn't get necessarily like worse as much as maybe it would if they weren't seeing us.
That makes sense. Is there like now? I don't know because I'm not really good at this, but the suntan lotion and everything. But is there something that you suggest? Like, is there different skincare products or different brands that you feel can either help you make it through the summer or restore skin, or like if you're guys like us that might not.
I used to throw
50
tanning
at
oil
40.
on. Not tanning oil,
You're
but like
really trying to send me today. I feel. I'm just kidding.
I used to get really
the oil,
dark.
we've got burnt shoulders.
Yeah.
You're like, no sunscreen.
I'm an esthetician's walking nightmare.
Yeah. Literally.
Like,
I'm not
there's
sure
that
what to
guy.
do with
Yeah.
She's gonna see you in 10 years, you're gonna look like you're 60.
Exactly.
Well, I just pray that you never have any skin cancer. But
Whatever. I mean,
you're like, take a chunk.
yeah.
100% mineral sunscreen, to answer your question, would be, there's definitely great brands out there. We carry, some more targeted for face, of course, where you can use it on the body. But anything that's like 100% mineral is going to be your go-to when you're looking for sunscreen. So, you can find your do's and don'ts out there everywhere. But honestly, the best sunscreen is the sunscreen that you're wearing. So
Sure. That would be good.
just say it.
Just anything.
Anything.
Just,
It's better than nothing.
better than nothing.
I put it on my daughter. She was good.
Okay.
That's
I respect
step in
that.
the
Yeah,
right direction.
she
His
was
daughter's
good.
1. So
Yeah.
I would hope that you don't want this crying, can't talk baby at home.
I mean, my
with
child will
sunburn.
be the kid that's like white on the beach.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care if he's traumatized by it. He'll thank me later.
Yeah. Yes, he will. So sorry, we went on a little tangent there on sunscreen. But
That's okay. It's the most important. I just should state too, it's the only like approved, like regulated product that to prevent aging or it's the only preventative aging product on the market is sunscreen. It's the only thing that's
And we spend a lot of time on this back porch, so we should probably figure that out.
yeah,
Sun's
exactly. There
shining.
should actually be displays
bottle
of
of
sunscreen on
That'll
your
be
here.
that'll be our
Share
next
them.
our next sponsor.
I should have brought that.
That would have been great.
I should have brought it. I'll make
when
sure
we,
you
when
get
we do
one.
the when we do the tour,
Yeah.
we'll
pick up
we'll
some
put
sunscreen.
I'm
and
gonna show up at my house
I'll
and
put
I'm
it
gonna
on
have
you,
like
you put it on me.
as long as you got my back. I'm gonna show up at my house in like 3 days and there's gonna be just a box.
Yeah.
It's gonna be this big of like
all.
the sunscreen in the world.
I cannot wait to watch
And
that.
then I'm going to check in like a
Make
month
sure.
and make sure those bottles are all about empty.
But I won't ever be white.
fair.
I'm kind of like an olive-y color.
And the thing is, even if you wear
Italian with
sunscreen, you're still going to get a tan. You'll still get your color that you love.
Good.
I
Perfect.
promise.
Then I'll start wearing
Eventually,
it.
Okay.
probably
Yeah.
later than.
Well, that's what I normally. So what I normally do, and you're probably going to be like,
You're gonna
get
burn
the hell
tan. Is that
out.
what he's
Yup.
saying?
Yeah.
I
Just
knew
get
that
my.
was coming.
I
Just
get
get
one
my.
good one. I
Yep.
said,
Just
gotta
go
get that
out,
good
get
burn
the
out of the
first
way.
one out of the way.
Why did
and
I
then,
come here?
And then.
Well, I feel like that is important though, because I feel like most guys that I know think like that. So I think that like,
Of course they do. Yeah,
Yeah.
I knew what you were going to say before you said it, but
Yep.
like one burn is like just increasing your chances of skin cancer. So just wear the sunscreen and get a gradual tan.
Yeah, but I feel like everything nowadays has just cancer.
Fair enough.
mean-
but I feel like
just
skin,
saying.
skin cancer is probably a thing. That,
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
pretty.
It's-
that's-
I mean, like I always say, I don't mean to be dramatic, but like it will kill you.
yeah. No, I
I know,
know
that's
somebody
fair.
that's died
Yeah.
from skin cancer.
Yeah.
I don't want
Thing.
that. I'd rather.
So yeah, now that we didn't know this was gonna be all about sunscreen, but
Yeah.
Agree.
Hey, it
No,
works
we're not,
out.
important
we're not
lesson.
going to stay there for too long.
it's an
but
important lesson.
It is. I
a
mean,
bit-
it is a good lesson because, like, I mean, I think, like you said, probably a lot of the people that are watching are
I would tell you
mostly men,
Yeah.
and think that we
they needed to hear this.
Yeah.
And I also think that like the younger guys are, and now I could be 100% wrong, so you can correct me if you want, but like under 40 men are probably less likely your clients than above 40.
Correct.
Because you don't know until shit hits the fan.
Well,
and
I think it's your more like mature, like businessman that is coming in to maintain their skin.
They want to continue to look 55 instead of 70.
Well, and plus, think about it now. Think about all the things that women are doing, right, to manage aging and to stay looking youthful. I mean, at some point you got to keep up, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Very
if
fair.
she's looking 10 years younger, don't you want to too?
Yeah. No, I agree.
My tan will do it.
I do.
Oh my God.
I do
She's
believe
gonna
that men
hate me after this.
Yeah, she's not gonna like you too much.
I'm gonna get my
You're
own
not gonna
free.
be invited
I'm
for the
gonna get
walkthrough.
my free lifetime membership out of this. She's gonna be like, "You can just be a client,
I'm
but
just
just
gonna
please
need-
come to the place.
Yeah.
Just I don't care.
We'll
Just
we'll let you be a marketing tool.
Yeah. You just must wear the sunscreen.
yeah. There's gonna be billboards. It's gonna be yours. I'll buy it, and then it'll be me. We'll fix it.
Yeah.
Just sitting there.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
With your burnt shoulders.
Exactly.
Yes. All right. So
Yeah, we're getting way off. Sorry.
Great to know about sunscreen, but I will go back to what we were talking about to start there, which is just building a clientele base. And you said, once you close the door, you get so much information, but to be able to build that time frame and that client base and people that trust you and continuously come is one of the hardest things in business.
Yeah.
In my personal opinion, long-term clients are the best clients you can have, but you could do 10 things right
Yeah.
and one thing wrong,
Yeah.
and you could lose that client forever.
Yeah.
So to keep long-term clients that are consistent, spend money with you, trust you, and then build those relationships where you're also a therapist. How was that a focus? Like, obviously, for me in my business and with him when we talk about business and everything that we do, a standard of excellence in how you work and do what we're supposed to do is really important. But it's hard as you hire more people to keep that same, he's been with me since almost I started this company, so he grew with it.
Right.
And as you bring more people on to instill the culture and ideas that go along, like that's just business. And
to see where, like, I think the hardest thing with that too is like, he maybe saw where you started.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Whereas the people you're bringing on now, they just see where you're at.
Yep.
And so the expectation is like, well, I deserve this, right? Because they see where you're at, but they didn't see what it took to get there. 100%. And building a book. Because I feel like it's a little bit similar, and you're building a clientele.
Sure.
Right? So, my thing always was, I felt like that was the difference that I had to offer for clients. And my book speaks for it. I mean, my people I've had for almost all but the 10 years, a lot of them. Yeah. And I always say, I'm like, if I were ever stuck on the side of the road, I have a lot of people I could call because they're like my family.
Yeah.
But I think the thing was building trust from day one. Like when we book a consultation, if in our industry, a lot of people, it's 15, 30 minutes. I book an hour. I don't want them to feel rushed. Yeah. I want to go into what we're doing. I want to clearly explain, what we're going to provide and do for them. Like that's that time to build that connection and start that relationship. And that's really what it is. I mean, also it's your face.
Yeah.
So like you need to build that trust with somebody.
Without a
and
doubt.
then hiring, I mean, same for me. My first esthetician, Sarah, she really kind of grew with me. It was one of those things where I got to a point that I just couldn't take on the demand by myself anymore. And I was turning away business. Sure. So I hired her, and she just kind of got thrown in, and we ran, rolled with the punches there. And, she's still here with me today. And I've been very lucky to have built, or not even to have built, but to have found such great people that I trust, that, align with my vision and our mission and all of that. I don't think you find that often.
Is
and
that, sorry, not meaning to cut you off. Is that something, for me, it took me a while to get to that point. You know that. We've gone through people. But is that something now through the hiring process that, like, you let them know, hey, this is the culture that we have here. This is the vision that we have here. And I tell, whenever we have team meetings, I'm like, I don't really want to do anything that other than, like, have people that are bought into the vision.
Right.
Because if you have people that aren't bought into the vision, it's hard to ask them to do things that don't seem like their job.
Right.
Right. But you know what I mean? But if they're looking forward to the future, they're willing to step a little bit outside of, hey, okay, this is for the good of the team.
Right. Because then if the business grows and there's success in the business and they've contributed to that, right? I'm
100%.
not greedy. Like I want to share that with my team, my people. That's what it's all about, right?
100%.
So yeah, it's hard hiring. It's hard hiring now, especially a lot of your younger
It's insane.
generations, the expectations.
It's crazy.
I worked for free for like a long time in this industry, basically all but.
Yeah.
But like you have to kind of prove yourself and put yourself, I don't know, not that you have to work for free, but you
I
have
know
to
what you're
put
saying,
in the
though.
time.
The
They
grind
don't
is
understand that.
the grind
that's-
is the
I mean,
worst part. We talk about it all the time.
Yeah, well, and even like from our standpoint, like we had this conversation a couple times, and I know I've had conversations with like, my dad where we're obviously trying to hire right now, but like a lot of the people, like I was here when it was 3 of us jammed in one office, and now we have 8 offices, like we have a nice place. Like people don't understand the things that happen, and then like they come on and they see what I have, what I've done, being in the position that they are, and they're like, well, why don't I have this already? Well, I mean, it's also been, I think it was 2 years till I even bought my first car.
For sure.
You're like, let me give you my resume.
Yeah. I mean, it's
hard.
crazy.
It is. I know that everybody sees that meme and you see it all the time, but it's like got that iceberg.
Yeah.
And it's got like all these things under the water that you can't see. And then there's like the 3 things on top of that you can see.
Yeah.
And that is a lot about building a business. And I think that overall in general, especially the fad of being an entrepreneur, the fad of running a business that happens on social media, which I do have some questions about that in a second, so don't let me forget about that.
All right. Social media.
Yes. But the idea and thought process and fad of, oh, yes, I run my own thing. Yeah. But the struggle to get to where these people are posting or to where, like, can you imagine 10 years ago what your social media posts look like compared to today?
Oh.
like honestly, what they would have looked like. It's crazy.
It's crazy. And honestly, it's one of the hardest parts of the job. It's, first of all, being a business owner, it's hard to let go. That's the hard part about growth, hiring a team, delegating all of it, letting go of that control, right? And because for me, social media, I want to deliver a certain kind of message.
Sure.
It's hard to find somebody, to understand that and make sure it's still personalized, right? But yeah, it's a full-time job doing social.
It is. It's insane.
And now it's just like, I don't know, you have to do it all day, every day. And it's just like, do you want to have a life or run social media? Because really they want to see your face too.
All the time. Mm-hmm. All the time. And it is a full-time job. And it's something that I've talked about. I actually went really hard on social media for probably about 2.5 years when I first started the business because we didn't have capital to be playing around in marketing and doing some other stuff. But to really do it well, to commit to it and do it well.
It's a full-time job.
I mean, it is a constant run around, show people different things, go to different houses, you have to think and be creative every single day of your life. And if you start...
At all times.
And if you start with just mundane conversations, like your interactions drop tremendously, and now you're just on there looking ridiculous. It is crazy. It's the world that we're in. But what I wanted to ask you
Social
about
media.
that,
Yeah.
yes. What I wanted to ask you about that
That's
is
what
like,
I'm here for.
I think
You're doing great.
He's clutch. Clutch. Do you think that social media and all the different things over the last 10 years since you've been in the business, or even over the last 20 years, honestly, I mean, I was 17, and so wasn't really too much social back then. That was like Facebook just getting on started. But over the last 10 years, do you think that has had an influx on your business for the fact that like all the filters, all the stuff like that, like you and just different things like that of everyone showing their face all the time. And do you think that that's added to maybe a more competitive market, like you said earlier, and just people feeling that they want, like, they'll take a picture of themselves, edit it 37 times, and then be like, I want to look like that person.
Right.
Like that's, do you think that has
but I
anything to do
think
with
it's
it?
like it's almost unfair to like, especially women, right? Like that they're seeing this unrealistic like version of themselves, and it's like honing back in on, but like you do look great, and we can revise so much, but I mean at that point that's surgery. Like do you want to go under the knife? But to answer with social media, and that has changed so much over the past 10 years in itself. But I always say, like, when I'm good on my social media and I'm consistent and I'm posting, and I notice a difference in business.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
100%. So it's like, it's almost like when you don't post, you just want to like poke yourself, right?
True.
But even so, I've been getting some more professional like video footage done lately. And I told him, I was like, it's crazy. The engagement like with those posts is off the charts in comparison. Or if I post my face, off the charts. Yeah. And it's like, I mean, it's just, you got to do what works, I guess.
Right.
But
sure.
when you do like a generic post or a product post in our world, like, it's out there, but not an exciting one. Even before and afters are hard though too. Like some people are like, they don't want to be posted. They don't want it out. So like that makes the job hard too, because what do people want to see?
Right.
Before and after. Yeah. And then you have people in the industry who also like filter those before and afters, and
I could believe that.
that's just silly. I don't know. I always like to set realistic expectations.
Yeah,
but
and that's probably part of the original, like building that relationship while you set an hour in the consultation.
Absolutely.
And I heard you say that earlier because I say it way too often. But you said the word journey, with these people, and I think that a lot of the world today is because of social media and everything is like instant gratification. But the fact of the matter is that you got to trust the process. It sounds like that, and you got to build that. And even if it's a different tailored vision process for each individual client, which I'm assuming it probably is based on what their needs are. How have you been able to make that part of your culture that like the people that work for you and work within your company are working with these clients because you want them to be long-time clients, not come in, get it done, and then move on. Like you want to build this process. So how do you build into your culture that like, because maybe the first thing's only a couple hundred, I have no idea how much that stuff costs, but like, but you also don't want them to just go sell them the highest price product because it might not be good for them, and then you got paid, but at the end of the day it wasn't the process, it wasn't the journey. You don't keep that client forever.
I actually won't let my team just sell a product. Like
that's awesome.
I'm like good, like I don't like, that's not how we operate. I think it's a disservice to the client, it's a disservice to what we do. So as far as that, it is a journey. Sure. And I think we're so used to that instant gratification, especially in our industry. We want to just like scrape it off, burn it off, peel it off, all of that. And that's not long term. That's a Band-Aid fix. You might get instant results, but in 4 weeks, in 6 months, then what happens?
Sure.
If you commit, our brand that we work with, it's called DMK. It's a unique approach to skin revision. It is not what everybody else is doing in every other, spa and clinic. But what we do is amazing work to restore the health and balance of your skin, which people think about tearing it down, but we're building it up. We're feeding it. We're giving it what it needs to thrive and survive.
Right.
Just like you would your body, giving it the food, all of that. So, what we do is a journey, and it's progressive though. With every treatment, you'll see it get a little bit better. And it's a concept as far as you get your professional treatments and your skincare. So your professional treatments is where we really make those strides in the results, and then you maintain it at home with your skincare. Same thing, like going to the gym and then you maintain it with a healthy diet, or going to the dentist and you brush your teeth, anything in life. Yep. So, we don't just sell a product. Somebody could come in like, I want to buy everything on your shelf. No, my answer is no, because you are going, you're not going to get a good, experience with it then, because you don't know why you're using it, what you're doing, any of that. That's just, we won't do that.
So is it a process in which it's just continuous, almost coaching? Because most people probably don't know anything about it.
Yeah, it is. And we, just the first 4 treatments, we focus on strengthening and rebuilding your skin.
Sure.
Getting it functioning optimally so that it can take under, revision processes and things like that, and that we can really start diving into, the specializing of whatever your concerns are or conditions that are present on the skin. So it's progressive. I always say it's like Tetris, like building blocks. Like every time you come in, we're building on that last visit because you're maintaining the progress we made at home.
Sure. What does that look like? And I'm just asking how far apart?
Every 4 weeks.
Okay.
4 to 6, and we say that because your cells are supposed to cycle every once a month, when it's healthy, when you're young, when you're, as we age, that process starts to double, triple, quadruple. So there is a method to the madness. We say every 4 to 6 weeks to maintain a healthy cell cycle. And, it's funny because clients, when they're consistent, they start to know I knew it was time for my enzyme or my treatment because, that's how it is.
Their
but
skin is...
it takes, I'll tell clients 6 months to a year to get you to where you want to be and then really take off.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it's the same thing with the gym. I mean, you're playing with your body.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't go into the gym 3 times a week for 4 weeks and
people try
look
that
like
all the
a
time.
whole new person.
Exactly. Yeah.
No.
It's a commitment.
It's
literally anything in life.
Yep.
Yeah.
Commitment,
but
consistency,
they'll go
dedication.
down the street and get something that burn their face off and be like, oh, but this is gone and it looks great. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll see you back in 6 months.
Yeah.
When you realize that wasn't the answer.
Yeah.
So we just stay committed to our concept and who we are and what we believe in. And I'm so thankful for my team that I found that believes in me and that as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now you said what was
DMK.
it? DMK. Is that your brand type thing, or is it what's that look like?
It's a skincare brand. It's in we're international. It's in 36 countries. It's been around for 50 years. Okay. Danae is the founder. They're based out in LA, and he's got a background in he's in chemist, a science, all that.
How many different things did you
speak to?
It's fine. No, it's fine. It's good product. It's a good product. Yeah.
It's great though, and it's something that's working with your skin. Yes. We're not bought out by big corporations, so the product and the derivatives and the processes that it's made is of highest quality.
Sure.
And you don't find that in this industry anymore.
Or York
County. Just don't. Or anywhere. Yeah.
But so with that, how many different products did you? I mean, you've been doing it for 10 years. When did that become? I mean, it sounds like
I've had them for about 8 years.
Oh, wow.
I had 3 skincare lines before I had DMK.
Okay.
And I just always said I felt like I had them, I used them, I sold them. Didn't know them to the level of this. The level of education that comes along with DMK is unparalleled. So I dove into that. And I've just been loyal and committed to it ever since. I'm a big believer in one skincare line is enough if it covers all your bases, because it's meant to work together. Yeah. Whereas all these places you go in, there's 7 product lines.
Sure.
And they're mixing and matching. And at that point, you can be canceling out ingredients. You could be doing too much or nothing at all at that point for your skin. So it's a lot of science
Yeah.
based in it. It's not just like I'm slapping on a cream and
I'll
hoping
stick
to
to
look
getting
good.
burnt.
She's kicking you off.
I'm sorry.
You're not invited on the vlog.
I told you.
I'm just kidding.
I'm not going to the field trip.
Yeah, you can't come on
I'll
the
drive
field
the
trip.
bus, but I have to stay outside.
Stay outside.
Yeah,
yes.
all right.
And
No,
reapply your sunscreen.
Yes. That honestly, this is some awesome information. Obviously, on the skincare side, but let's just jump a little bit into business.
Yeah.
Growing a business, staying in business for 10 years.
Through COVID.
Through COVID, which I couldn't even imagine
how
what
did
that was
that
like
happen?
in
How did-
your industry.
Yeah.
Actually, why don't we just
I need to
tell us
know.
that. How did
Yeah.
you navigate that?
Well, so I mean, DMK was actually really supportive of us. They created like a sanitizer so that they were able to like basically, I guess, stay open to sell and like keep creating product. And then they made these at-home kits that we were selling to our clients. So we have an at-home version of our professional mask that we were selling. And literally, I mean, I think every week, like I'd have like 40,
Wow.
packages
Yeah.
going out. Like that was paying the bills.
Sure.
That's
And
Was
that was the
product.
goal, was to just get through and pay the bills. I mean, for
Yeah.
everybody. Like
Yeah.
it was. Yes.
Survive.
Yes.
Yep.
And so, that is how we stayed alive. And social media,
Yeah. No,
That's
that makes
crazy.
sense.
keeping them engaged with us.
Could you imagine though? Like,
I mean,
I bet
yeah.
some of those. I don't know exactly what a mask looks like, and probably. I kind of feel like we should do one on a field trip.
we really
Yeah.
need this field trip.
Yes.
But I also, could you imagine, like, you guys do it professionally? I would love to see what some of these masks look like in these people's houses, because I bet it was just a trip.
That's why they were buying
watch.
so many,
Yes.
because I think it
I
worked.
didn't do that right.
Then that definitely happened.
Oh, for sure. Their
Yeah.
husbands were probably like, what? What's going on? No, but
Yeah. Plus, they were doing their hair at home.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
it was everything.
It was a struggle.
Yeah.
Nails, hair, all that stuff that we take
Yeah.
for granted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Like-
when you can't sit down with somebody and you
It's
gotta,
nuts.
That was awful too. Even just coming back to work and the
Yeah.
mask, and we had like a shield, and you're like working under this shield on a face, and it was just crazy times. But we made it through. And actually, I mean, honestly, 2021 maybe, I feel like was such a good. Everybody had all this extra money,
yeah.
and they were spending it on themselves.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
it's like this year is worse than
Than
Yeah.
that.
it's
Then-
been in a while. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, not really, but really. You
Yeah,
know?
I get it. 23 was not the funnest year in real estate either. So
Yeah.
And with
23
that,
in
that's kind of
general was a
what
weird year.
I was saying. 10 years in business, it's a roller coaster.
Oh yeah.
It's
Some days I'm like, that's it.
yeah, I get it. I get it. I tell people I've spoken at many events, and I'm always just like, this is not for the faint of heart.
No.
Like
Hell
you
no.
have to be willing to do some shit that nobody else is willing to do,
And pivot when
Yeah.
you need
Mm-hmm.
to, and
and just nuts.
be
I saw-
creative, think on your feet.
I saw a video
that's
the other
huge.
day that I forget who it was, but really well-known guy. I think he's in construction. If I showed him to you, you'd probably know who it is. But he said when he first got started that, like, now to most people it's going to sound like a lot of money, but when you're slinging construction
Yeah.
and you're down to $1 million, he literally said that he was at a conference and he said to somebody, I'm going to go bankrupt, and the guy just laughed and patted him on the shoulder and said, if you don't feel like you're going bankrupt every 4 years, you're not doing it right. Which is crazy, because it's like, as you kind of go, the ups and downs.
I kind of feel that, because I always feel like right before growth, sometimes like it's like you're kind of like just plateaued or you're down, and then all of a sudden like
Boom.
it reignites your fire, right?
Yeah.
You kind of get comfortable, you ride out what's working, and then it's time
Yes.
to pivot and change.
and that is the telltale sign if you're going to survive in
Yeah.
this world, because I feel like a lot of individuals. My dad was an attorney, and he owned his law firm and did corporate healthcare, but we always talk about it. And I was like, every time like you weather a storm, like you're like, all right, I weathered this storm, and you're like, take a breath. But like you can usually within the next 6 months to a year, you start to see dark clouds again. you do. Like you're
in
like,
one
okay,
way or another.
This storm is gonna now have to weather another storm. And there's, if people don't know how to captain that ship, a lot of people say, you know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. Which is why most businesses don't make it past 2 years. 2 years. There's a lot that don't make it past one.
Right.
5 years is like that next thing that was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah,
10 years is the next one.
Five, and then I'm like, oh my God.
Yes.
I was always like, making it to 5 was a big deal. Now, like thinking next year is going to be 10, I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah. So
what am I doing for now?
It's amazing. Though.
I've got a couple things in the works. I've got some ideas.
That's awesome.
And, I've always just been that person. Like, I manifest it. I think about it. I be about it. I dream about it. Like, and it always happens if you really want it to happen. You can make anything you want happen. You just have to do it.
Right.
So, and it's a matter of figuring that out. But
and a lot of people won't take that step. You know what I mean? Like, I told you that before. I was like, so many people talk about it. Like,
to be about it's a whole different world.
You can sit.
It's easy to discuss it.
Say whatever you want, but like when shit hits the fan, like, are you really gonna say, all right, whatever happens, I believe I'm gonna get this shit done, and I'm gonna do it. And if I have to run through a freaking brick wall, I'm gonna run through a freaking brick wall.
Yeah.
And if it's easy and it's cool, that's great. But
you just gotta brace yourself. I always like mentally prepare. All right, like here we go, buckle down. This is gonna consume life for a while, but it's so worth it in the long run.
100%.
So yeah, it's an exciting place to be at, I think.
Definitely.
And I'm excited to see what's next. And, again, I'm glad that I have such a great team that's supportive of that journey too. So
without a doubt,
you don't do it alone. You don't build this ship by yourself.
I tell people all the time, and it sounds like everybody I know and everybody that's sat in that chair pretty much does the same thing. If you are not like a solopreneur, and you are putting people around you to instill and grow your business, to instill values and your vision in them, but at the same time, what they give back is the most important part of the whole thing. Those individuals are your business. You forget, like, it's been a, don't get me wrong, like I'm on my billboards, like you are probably on.
Absolutely.
But my business isn't my business without the team that I have. Like I if everybody disappears tomorrow, like I don't have a business.
Yeah.
And I can go put my nose down and figure it out. Like, you can take it all away, I'll figure it out. But like at the same time, where we're going and what we're doing is all based on other people. Like there's things that happen now on a pretty consistent basis that I don't even need to know about because I've empowered people to like make those decisions.
And that's the thing. If they all disappear, that's back to you.
Yeah, back to
again. What you've built to get away from, you're now back in it.
Yes, 100%.
So, yeah.
So what has, like, 10 years in business, roller coaster rides, we talked about all these different things. What have you learned from that process? What do you think is going to be the next growth step? If what's that look like for you?
I think what I've learned, and even honestly just more recently, is focusing on growing myself personally as a leader is so important. Always being self-reflective on like where I can grow, right? Because I am the leader of the team, and I believe in leading by example. Sure. And you have to, if you want this expectation from your team, you have to be that person yourself, no matter what. Like there is no other option. So, I have gone through a process over the past like maybe year and a half. I hired a business coach. He's helped me, not just financially get a better grasp and understanding of my numbers and analyzing all of that to help grow business and help make my team more successful, but being a better communicator and leader and all of that, which I think a lot of business owners don't do well, and especially in this industry. You're good at the trade, but not at running the business itself. So that was something that I'm working on mastering now, is being good at running the business.
I think it's truly most there's every now and then a few people that just go and start a business right away. But a lot of people get their feet wet in an industry.
I mean, I did that.
Yeah. But you said you had worked for someone else, right?
Yes.
Like you'll get your feet wet in the industry, you do some work, and then you're like, hey, I can do this.
Yeah.
But usually at that time when you start, it is you. Like you are the business. Like when I started buying, if it wasn't, we wouldn't buy houses. We wouldn't, you wouldn't have clients. You wouldn't have been able to build your book. You were doing the work every single day. And really, at that point, it's a really dope hustle. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like
when it's just you that you have to count on. Yeah.
You're making money. You don't have to pay anybody else to do it, but like it's a hustle. Like you're not really looking at your P&Ls and pulling back, like this. You're just like, shit, I made good money today. Yeah,
exactly.
So I think that the biggest issue is that people get good at something and then they decide they're going to actually have a business, they're like their own business, and they're like, oh, I got this, because you're crushing it by yourself. And then as you start to grow the actual business, you have to learn to be a leader. Yeah, you have to learn
and a business owner.
Yeah, and a business owner. And most people don't have that experience.
But it's so empowering. Like when I started to grasp the understanding of like my numbers, what I'm looking at, I mean, I analyze a lot now, and it is empowering, and it makes me feel more in control and a better leader, because I can say to my team, hey, like, with us, we're appointment based. If there's a cancellation, if that, my business coach always taught me, like, and he's amazing, like, don't base it upon feeling. Don't base your success upon how you feel. Go look at your numbers.
Right.
What are they saying?
Yep.
And every time they smack me in the face, like, you're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel like we're slow. I feel like, this month wasn't as good. And then I did that actually last year, 1 month. And he said, really, that's how you feel? So let's look at the numbers. And it was like our best month of the whole year. So it's just, that's something I've learned. When I get in that feeling, analyze your numbers. And I have the ability to do that because I'm in control. Now, do I have a bookkeeper and people to do all that stuff? But I also still know my stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's important.
Huge. Actually, it's one of the biggest things I'd say the person that really brought me into the industry and taught me a lot about it, Eric Brewer. He is, whenever he has conversations and whenever he's speaking, and I was even talking to somebody earlier today about it, the one thing I learned the most from him that I've saw in my masterminds and many other people is that, like, he always has a pulse on what's going on. Like, not on, he'll be the first one to tell you his business has changed a lot. Like, he used to, probably have too much of a pulse on what was going on, micromanage a little bit. But, not a little bit, but, a lot. But he'll admit that. Like, he knows that. He's put people in place. His business has changed dramatically.
Have to.
Yes. And but it's still to this day, when I hear him speak or when we talk, and he knows still the numbers. He still knows what's going on. Like, he still has a pulse on the real estate world. And I watch so many CEOs and I watch so many business owners, especially in the real estate industry, that have built this business and they don't have any idea. Like, they couldn't really, they're like, and I get that there's some good in that.
Sure.
Like, in the fact that, you feel like you don't have to, but when shit really hits the fan, when you have to when you have to dive back in completely and you don't have any idea what's going on.
Yeah, then what?
Yeah. And I've looked at, they were on stage probably a year and a half ago, and I was watching the other 3 people that were there, and it was so different the way that somebody that knew what was going on in the pulse of their business and how they could communicate when they were talking on stage to other people than people that were like, they would get asked a question like, hey, what's your lead generation look like?
Nothing.
And where someone else is like, no, we do this, this, and this, and this, and this is what it is. And I don't really, I'm not involved in it anymore, but I can tell you that this is what the goals are. If we're not hitting these numbers on this, then we're missing. And that's such an awesome thing that you just said, because I feel like a lot of people don't take the time to learn how to analyze their business. Especially in our industry.
Like I said, they know a trade. And there's a lot of solo estheticians, right? They just go out there, like we said, hoping for the best and
hustle.
to make a little profit and whatever that is. But I mean, but my business coach, he is geared in the salon and
when did you get a
industry.
Business coach?
I think like 2 years ago now.
How influential is having a coach? And
oh my God. But it's not just any coach. Like he is, like I said, he's geared in our industry. He's been in the industry for 30 years. He's helped people sell their businesses. That's what I was saying to you earlier. Because I owned my first brick and mortar and business and then now we're leasing. And my goal would be to own to sell. You know, that's the retirement plan, right? So
100%.
is to eventually own that and then be able to sell that. But he is just, the information's been invaluable, and he's come out from California and worked with my team, and he's just grown me as a leader, that to the point where, you know, just everything is really good, I feel like, in the business, and things like run really well. And the team gets along really well. And all of that starts with me, and he's helped me to be better with communicating and, you know, setting goals and motivating and all of those things, right? Because you can just come up and show up every day and do your job, but how are we going to make them more money? And, you know, you can't just, in our industry, we can't just like give more commission or give more this, right? You have to build more business, but
no, because no one really knows what the overhead looks like behind the scenes,
right?
You know, there's a whole different ballgame.
But we did the math at one of our like team things. He was like, "So how much do you think it costs to run this business a month?" I think they were all like, "What?"
For sure.
Like, so including payroll, but like it's not a small number.
No, it never is, and which is something that honestly you find out once you're a business owner. And you're like, oh shit.
And it's not like,
no
it's like
wonder.
The bigger you get, the more you have, right? Obviously, it's not like it just, the more team you have, the more money you make, but the more so it's all. But
Catch-22.
And I always say that too. I'm like, I don't know just how big I really want to get. I don't want to lose that personal touch. I don't want, like, do I really want to, again, have a life or spend it managing all these people?
100%.
Yeah.
So we always ask everybody a few questions.
Yes.
We'll dive into them. We appreciate all the conversation we've had today. We've learned so much about your business. Nico's going to wear suntan lotion, hopefully, moving forward.
I'll be checking it.
Yes, that's fine.
We have a field trip to put our masks on.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's going to be awesome. But so I know you were just speaking about this, the Real Podcast. First question is about real estate. Has real estate had any effect on your life or your business, or what? Any goals there? What's that look like?
Yeah, I mean, definitely my goal is to own my next location, wherever that takes me, wherever that is, so that my business is sellable on that level someday. Yeah. So that's where I'm at with that. But yeah, I mean,
because when you do sell your business, you want to sell everything about it. Yes, the culture, the vibe, the building, plus, I mean, you're not selling to people, but like. I wouldn't have to. Wouldn't have to own real estate, right, to sell it. But it's like
it makes it more valuable.
Yes, for sure, 100%.
So
makes sense. Next one is as a business owner or someone that works hard and likes to hustle. Usually, you have your eyes on a prize somewhere. Maybe it's different for everybody. But any fun shit that you like, expensive shit that you're like, hey, if I'm gonna spend my money right now. That's not probably on a new baby. Yeah. Which gets a lot more expensive. Just wait.
Great.
Way more expensive.
So buy the expensive shit now is what you're
yes,
saying.
buy all the expensive shit now.
Do it all before.
Yes.
That's what I did.
So before the sports and all that.
Before $450 baseball bats and $300 gloves and, $2,500 travel teams.
You just save all that.
It's great, yeah. So awesome. Yes, so pass it down. But what do you love? What do you like?
I would say I feel like right now I go through phases of like expensive shit that I like, whether it's a purse or a shoe. I feel like right now I'm in a sunglass phase. Like I love a nice, crispy, pretty.
What's the sunglass? Like brands are your sunglasses choice right now?
Well, Chanel, Celine's, Gucci. You know, but also in this industry, it's funny. My business coach always say, like, that you guys you love to like have your fancy shit and show it off.
For sure.
Like, well, we work hard, right?
100%.
And we get, our tips and
before
baby.
It was wrap before baby. No, but
now are sunglasses okay for, like, if I just wear sunglasses, I don't need suntan lotion, right?
When is this over?
It's fair. It's fair. There's a lot of people that feel that way. So you're not the first. No,
they're just another form of protection.
Okay.
So you need those too, and preferably a hat. I know you got that nice hair there.
Yeah,
but you need
I do
a hat.
normally wear a hat.
Do you get your haircut today?
Yes, last night. Normally it's on Tuesdays, but we had this today, so I had to go yesterday.
I get my haircut every Wednesday.
Okay.
So this is not a good day.
You should probably change that, right?
But it's been set for like 3 years. It's just like what I do, and I have my spot, and he's hard to get a time with. So I always am the scruffiest on. It's
fine.
okay. It's a week old, but
Yeah. Oh, every Wednesday.
every Wednesday.
I mean, we'd like to look good, or at least try.
No, exactly. So like your facials, let's incorporate those every month.
That's fair.
You can do that once a week.
I mean, we have to. It sounds like a 6 to 12 month process. You said to see if.
Yeah, you might as well get started. You're already behind.
Yes, go ahead. So right now, what's your favorite pair of sunnies? If you had to pick any of the ones you got,
Yeah, I mean, I would probably my black Gucci's are what I wear all the time.
throw it on, stun them.
Yeah.
I feel like your
Just my
clientele
classics.
also likes nice stuff.
Yeah, of course they do.
I mean, they care about them. They
Yeah.
care about the way they look. Like that's important enough for them to spend money on it.
Yeah.
So it's always nice.
I love an accessory. I just think it elevates. Like, you could have just like a basic, but you accessorize in the right way, and it just takes it to the next level. So
I just for the first time in my life, which is probably poor because I used to wear that. I just got on this little cologne kick right now.
Oh yeah, I do love a good scent. Yeah.
It's kind of.
They're okay scents. They don't destroy your skin.
No, actually, you really shouldn't spray them on your skin.
No,
Oh,
I
my.
spray it on my
What are we supposed
my
to do?
shirt.
Yeah,
I always
because
spray it on my
and
shirt.
Also, yes.
So that's not what they say to do.
Well,
After
they're
I've been
wrong.
on this cologne kick, now
Who's
I know all the
they?
things.
Yeah, who's-
Now I know all the things.
They are saying no.
They are saying that you're supposed to put them like so.
Here, your wrist.
And
here.
behind your ears, wherever
Yeah.
you kind of sweat a little bit, and those glands they like protrude.
instead of bad smell.
Protrude's probably not the
But
word,
like you
they
shouldn't
put it on
really
your
shouldn't
shirt.
like
yeah.
spray it directly on your skin. It could irritate the skin.
No, I always just go 3 sprays right on the shirt.
Yeah, that's been a fun little. I was never something. I always had like one cologne that I would stick to for a while. But
Oh,
I like
I
to
have
mix too. If you like,
No, I have the same cologne
Yeah.
for the last 10 years.
that's what I had. But
Yeah.
now I'm like, I didn't know there was this whole world of
I use.
pretty cool colognes out there. Like I was
Yeah.
just like, I really like this one smell.
That's how I am.
And-
Vintage black from Kenneth Cole.
Yeah, I was
oh
on.
buy
yeah,
it.
I
I
do
buy
feel
'em
like
by,
guys
like,
though.
the-
You always have your signature scent.
Yeah.
I was on
I've like
1 million for a while, and then like back in the day, it was the blue bottle polo, Ralph Lauren support.
Yeah.
But now, like I have, I don't even want to go into it because I sound ridiculous. Like,
Part of the
Sound
podcast.
like you want to go into
no,
it.
no,
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into it. But like, I got this. I have this aqua blue and Tom Ford Sauvage and
Yeah, I
have a
used to wear.
collection
I
now.
used to wear
it was
Aqua
like
di Gio.
7 or 8 like different.
Yeah, I
That
was
was-
gonna say
that-
I love.
I used to wear
on a
that.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aqua di
Oh,
Gio.
that's solid. Yes.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's a classic.
Today I think I have Christian Dior on, but it's just wild that they have all these different. Like,
They have some expensive stuff too. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
like the Tom
Ford.
Yup, Tom Ford colognes like
350?
Yeah.
all right, guys.
No, it is 300.
Is it 3 something?
It's got
Wow.
a price tag on it, but I didn't know
But it
about
does
this
last.
world.
Yeah.
And I didn't know about this world. So
Yeah.
now I'm like, I'm trying to find it out about it. I never knew
He's
how
gonna
many
be
different
at the
smells.
shop soon. He's gonna have
Oh, yeah,
his
he's ready.
new cologne,
He's already
new
took it.
haircut.
Cannot wait.
facials.
He'll be glowing. You're
Yeah.
gonna have to come in to keep
Can't
up with
glow
him.
too much more. It'll blend in with his red ass beard.
You leave my red beard alone. All right. It matches probably your back right now.
Shoulders.
See, you guys are the couple, so you have to keep up with each other.
No,
exactly.
Sure, definitely.
Got a little hair there.
Aww.
Thanks, bud. Thanks.
It's been there for a little while. It was bothering me.
Thank you. So next would be Dick. Give us some ideas of 10 years in business is a long time business. But what's the next 5-10 years look like? Like, what are your plans? I know you just said like possibly buy a building.
Buy a building.
Said you have a couple things in the works.
I do. I have some ideas.
Personal
talk about
and
it,
business. What's the 5-10 year plan?
Business, I don't know. I have an idea that I really want to bring to fruition. I'm just kind of putting out there. And so hopefully in the next 5 years, that process is maybe getting started or it's happening. I still have 2 more years in the lease that I'm in. So I'm going to ride that out and kind of figure out those next steps.
Start to plan.
Personally, I mean, I hope for another baby also.
Yeah. That's exciting.
Yeah. I definitely want to grow a family and...
You're just going to go back to back with the babies? Because that's...
No, I'm not ready yet.
Okay.
I'm not ready yet. I'm trying.
I feel like he's about to try back to back.
No, absolutely
I'm
not.
okay
I was
with,
just having this
some
conversation the other day.
in
Yeah, she's
between.
one. Probably, I don't want to be over 3 years apart.
Yeah. So I was gonna say,
Yeah.
mine are 4 years apart. They're 12. It's a little. The distance is the age gap.
My
is
brother
a
and I
lot.
are 3 years, so
Is
I think
it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, they love each other, but they're totally different. Like my 8-year-old is a reckless man child for 8, but like partly because he always is playing 4 years up.
Right.
Everything that they do is so, but at the same time, there's enough difference there that like a kid that's about to be a teenager this year, mid puberty, and an 8-year-old is a very big difference. So it's. I think that 3-year window, 2 to 3 year window is probably
I think
a little.
I mean, no pressure, whenever, but I definitely want more children.
Yeah.
So within 5 years, hopefully at least another. I would do maybe 1 or 2 more.
And it's fair. And with skincare, when can you start skincare on children?
Oh, I was putting beta gel on my baby out the womb. I mean, just kidding. I mean, no, really, when they're that little, their skin is it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. They don't need anything.
Sure.
Yeah.
Less is more, actually.
When did kids start? I guess kids, yeah. Like, is it high school that kids start coming to you, or is it even before that?
Teens,
Yeah.
sometimes before. It just like depends. But in all reality, it's hormones. Like, again, that's managing its hormones. Or like I deal with now, like a lot of these boys, these teen boys, they're like lifting really heavy.
Yeah.
And that increases testosterone, which increases oil and androgen production and all of that. And then they're getting their acne's worse, but they won't stop lifting heavy.
Sure.
So like I don't know how to help you there.
That makes sense. Yeah.
It's all, and then they get on Accutane.
They might also be putting some stuff in their body that.
It's a whole other conversation.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're eating pasta and all that, right? Like it's
Eating testosterone pills, like they're just
whatever.
yes,
Yeah,
all the
and they're
things.
also just eating all the things, fast food, whatever, and it's not affecting their body. They're not thinking about
16.
their health of their gut.
Yeah, but understandable.
It all affects everything.
Last
Body's
but not
wild.
least, life lessons. Like you learn so much through the ups and downs of business. Like is freaking crazy. But personally, I've learned a shit ton.
Sigh.
So personally and in business, like if someone is either struggling or thinking about starting or any business, or life struggle, whatever, anything that you would share that has had a big effect on your life or something that you learned that you could go back to 23, 25-year-old self and be like, you know what? Maybe we should do this just a little bit different.
I mean, I think back to the whole getting a grip on the actual running the business part, right? Because usually we're all starting with like the trade, We're just starting a business because we do what we love, or we want to do something we love. But understanding what you're about to get into and knowing how to run a business and just having that better understanding going into it, I think would be such a game changer. And really honing in on like your expertise, not trying to do it all. I think in the beginning, everybody wants to do it all. And maybe you kind of have to, right, to like get your grounding and figure out what that specialty is. But honing in on your specialty and really branding that and like running with it, you know, really figuring out your brand.
Yeah, because I assume that there's probably things that people specialize in every business. I mean, our business, any business. And there's things that you know you're really, really good at. And that you're like, hey, yeah, if you want that, maybe we don't have anybody that really specializes in that niche thing. But like, we do this the best.
Right. And capitalize on that. And maybe you offer these other little things, but they'll find that out when they come to you for that one thing, you know, that one big thing. And then you can, you know, expand from there.
And you can, a lot of times, I don't know about you guys, but you can almost partner with other companies that, like, if they're not trying to steal clients, but like they capitalize in this small niche, and it's like, hey, we do this all really good, but this one thing, I would trust this person with my face.
Correct.
So like, go here for that, and then come back and do the rest of your stuff.
Because trying to do too much, like you can't manage that. You know, it gets confusing. There's not a clear message. It's sloppy. That's something I definitely did. I like wanted to do it all. I wanted to offer it all and have it all. And then now you just like, who are you? What is that mission? And stay focused and create that brand that people want to be a part of.
That's honestly the worst thing ever is you ever go to a restaurant and you open the menu
and there's
7,000 things. I'm like, they can't do any of this well.
No.
Because like, if you show me 15 things on your menu,
we're going from like Italian to Mexican to American.
Everything.
Yeah, it's like
no way. There's no way it's that good.
Yeah.
No.
You don't
Valid. That's a great example.
Yes, it is. But then you go to like a nice restaurant where they got like 7 entrees.
And they're all delicious.
And you're just like,
yes, everything's good.
Yeah.
Yep. I hate big menus.
This is exactly my point.
Yes, exactly. I was getting there. Food related. Love. Yeah, it's
now
fine.
I'm hungry.
Exactly. So no, honestly, that is such a huge lesson in life, because I think that a lot of people try to do everything.
Yeah.
And they end up not doing anything well.
And work in your industry. Get industry experience. There's a reason why people want to hire people with experience. Like, get that experience, get your feet wet, and then use that to figure out what you're good at, right?
For sure.
And like hone in on what that is.
Do your employees have like different things that you would say that they're really good at?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
And I think that's the beauty of growth too.
Yes.
Nobody is you, and that is your power. I'll always say that, because somebody will come to me for something. Somebody will go to each of my girls, because I'm not everybody's cup of tea.
And that's okay.
In itself, not even just in my expertise, but in me as a person, right?
100%.
Not everybody's gonna like vibe, let's say, with me, and that's okay. But there's somebody who probably will.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of my team too. I think we do that really well, is cover all those bases.
That's awesome.
So yeah.
You have any cool questions to finish this up with?
No, I think she just wants me out of here. She's like,
I need you to just go apply some sunscreen.
That's
I'm gonna go in my
get some spray on outside for you.
Yeah.
No, honestly,
I think
we
this has been
appreciate
a good one.
you.
Yeah, I always like when it's. I mean, we obviously are in real estate all the time, and that's like our business. But I mean, to see and have somebody that is a whole different industry, and I mean, we've had everything, but a lot of it is stuff that we do like this. I had no idea about any of this, so I think it's super, super awesome.
Well,
Yeah, true.
you too today. Be nice to each other.
This is normal. Yep, this is normal.
Yeah, well, hopefully, I'm glad you guys learned a lot today.
Yes.
We appreciate it.
Yes,
and we
thank
appreciate
you.
it.
For
And
having
you're
me
the first woman business owner on our show, so that's freaking awesome.
Yep.
And you know, if someone wanted to get a hold of you, maybe someone hears this and you know they are like, "Hey, where do we go? How do I get a hold of her? Where are you at? How would they reach you?"
So we are off the Leaders Heights exit in South York, right behind Advancement and Laser Center next to the Gladfelder Insurance Company. Am I supposed to give my phone number?
No, you don't need to, that would probably be a little aggressive.
Not mine, like the business.
You're welcome to do that,
media?
but I would probably, if they can look at
give all
your
my deets in the
Instagram,
comments.
your Instagram or Facebook.
We're Allyson Brittany _ aesthetics on Instagram, Allyson Brittany Aesthetics on Facebook. The AllysonBrittanyAesthetics.com is our website. And you can find out a lot of information there. And also, if you want to be nosy and come check us out, we have our quarterly beauty brunch coming up in August, the first Sunday of the month.
Field trip.
Sunday, August 4th. Mimosas, discounts on skincare, free
You
consultations.
probably just told way too many single dudes where to be at on that date. But hey,
I mean, hey, come join us.
That's
the
fine.
ladies love the attention.
Oh,
so.
I don't doubt that.
Yeah, Sunday, August 4th, 12 to 2.
Awesome. And last but not least, I know you said it a couple times, so I'll just put it out there. What someone does want to meet with you and they do reach out to you. I know you said that you set up a consultation.
Yes.
What does that look? Is that like just, hey, we meet with you and see if it's a good fit? Or
yeah, book a consultation. It's complimentary. It's free. We will just basically go over what your goals are, what you're looking to achieve, what's going on, set up realistic expectations, kind of pan out the options for you. It's not cookie cutter. You know, we can definitely make it work for your lifestyle, your budget, whatever that may be. And we'll go from there. And we also have something called the initial appointment. If you're looking to dive right in and get started in the process, that's a consult. We do a skin scan, we do a treatment, and you go home with 30 days of skincare, and that's $199. So
that's really
it's
good,
2 hours of time. You get everything that you need to
You
get
guys,
started on
do a
that
couples
journey.
one?
Yeah, we can do you guys together.
Little couples face mask.
Love it. I'm with it.
We can put the beds right next to each
Yeah.
other
Oh,
for
I
you guys.
cannot
You can have a
wait.
personal
Yeah.
experience.
Exactly.
I heard
You
it's
can
hard
hold
to move.
hands.
I heard it's hard to move. So
Yeah,
we won't
it
be
is
able to
hard
look
to
at each other. We'll just have to look at Syria.
Stare at the
Celia,
ceiling.
talk
How you doing
to
over
each
there?
other. It'll be great.
Men do love it though. Men love the mask. They like how it feels. They love a hot towel. They love to be pampered. Like you guys probably don't even know.
No,
yet.
probably not. I mean, my barber
I've had
is
the,
super
like,
awesome. I get the
hot
hot towel, but then they put this little thing on. It's like,
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't have that.
yeah, it's like this
Paris,
little
get
massage
step
thing.
your game
All
up,
right,
dude.
so we need a campaign. Men, take care of your skin.
Men take
Yep.
care of your skin. We can-
Starting
Yeah.
with suntan lotion.
That's a good
Starting
start.
with reapplying your
Yes.
sunscreen every
Yeah.
hour.
When
you're
do most
exposed.
people start like this? Like as an adult? Sorry to go.
age
Yeah.
wise?
When do you like? I
The
feel
sooner
like
the better. It's
Really?
all about prevention.
Okay,
You never have a wrinkle that you never form. So like,
that's fair. I feel like it's probably hard to get 23-year-olds in there
yeah, I'm sure, but like
for
30,
long-term skincare. Yeah, that's what I mean.
like
yeah.
young
40.
business professionals.
Okay.
He likes to say the young, right? 40. I heard that.
I'm holding on right now. I'm 37 years old, 38 in a couple months. You just let me live and not be
live
old
your
yet.
life.
Yeah,
live
I'm
your life.
not old
but
yet.
like now's probably a
be
good
gray
time
soon,
for
so you
you
won't
to
be able to
start. If that's what you're really asking.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
No, thank you so much for
Yeah.
the time
Thank you.
today.
Thank
it
you,
was
guys.
an awesome show having you here. Again, reach out to her if you have any questions. It sounds like you get a consultation. You can go in there and get this super cool deal on the first time and got a whole bunch of awesome information. So we thank you again. Check in next Monday, every Monday on any streaming service. The Real Podcast. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.